Okay, actually my story started back in about 85. I had teenage boys. There was 5 boys, 4 of them were teenagers. My father had just died. I started not feeling good and knew something was wrong. In 88, it had been confirmed that I had cancer. I had talked to this one doctor and he suggested 2 places to go. One was up in the States and one was Mexico. Mexico was the first choice, and that's the one I went with. I came down to Manor Clinic. I had 4th stage breast cancer. I was given 50-50 chance of living 5 years. The last 2 to 3 was a slow, painful death. I came down to Tijuana, Mexico, to the Manor Clinic at that time, where I met Dr. Alvarez. And the things that I saw down there, a girl that had had brain cancer, she had had an operation. How well she did for, I don't know how many years afterwards. And there was a boy. The things that I saw was really impressive. I went ahead and I went through their 3 weeks of treatment. I get so involved with this that trying to remember all the things that I want to tell about Manor Clinic, I have been impressed very much so. For 2 years after I went home, I took the names of all of the patients. There was 21 of us that day. I took the names of all of them and their telephone numbers. And for 2 years afterwards, I stayed in contact with those people, and they were all still living. I was given a 50-50 chance of living 5 years in the States. The last 2 to 3 would be a slow, painful death. Do I look like I'm in pain yet? I must have at least 2 years ahead of me yet. But anyway, I saw the way the oncologist up there treated a friend of mine that was his patient. She died under his care. I had worked in a public position. I worked for a glass company, so I met contractors, business people, and the average public. At that time, Quincy was known as one of the highest breast cancer rates for a city its size of 50,000 in the United States. So there were many of us women that had breast cancer at that time. A lot of them was in business. A lot of them was wives of the customers and the customers themselves. I don't know of any that survived during that time. I did not like the way the doctor at that time treated my girlfriend. So when I found out about Tijuana, Mexico, I had to come down and try them out, and I am so glad I did. The love they showed, the care they gave the patients, talking to the patients themselves and seeing how long they were living, all of that was good. And whenever I would come back, I would always talk to the patients. I lived 2,200 miles away from Tijuana. I did not trust the doctors up there to tell me how I was doing, trying to make it look bad for Mexico. Mexico was 2,200 miles away. I didn't trust those doctors. So I thought there was only one way to keep them honest. I would take one checkup in Quincy, and the next checkup I had in Mexico. I'm going to keep those doctors honest with me. The Quincy doctors never shared anything with the doctors in Mexico. But whenever I left Mexico, Dr. Alvarez and the doctors always saw that I had a packet to take back home to the doctors in Quincy, although sometimes they didn't always take it. Although I am almost 80 years old, I still have been active. I am a cashier at the local grocery store. So you can imagine then how that was for me all at once. Like I say, I am tired. I couldn't hardly walk. Just think what that is, working as a cashier and having food that you have to pass along, not even having the strength to do that. I got so bad that I had to go ahead and finally ask for a 3-month leave. So that shows you how much I had weakened. Here I was before out working these teenage kids. And now I could hardly move the groceries. So that's how much strength that I had lost. So this is the reason I felt that I had to do something else. I had to have something to help me to fight. And the only way I could do was go back to Dr. Alvarez. Here I am 34 years later, and I'm still coming back. I still called Dr. Alvarez. Although Manor Clinic no longer exists, Dr. Alvarez went out on his own several years ago, and I stayed with him. He has now become my friend. I trust him. When I am skeptical of a treatment in the States, I call Dr. Alvarez. I have taken advantage of the poor dear guy. He's been wonderful. This time, when I took my treatments in the States, I no longer felt the 39 I claimed to be, although in about 2.5 weeks I'm going to be 80. But I was beginning to feel 90. I couldn't walk the distance of a room. I was out of breath. I was so tired, I was sleeping about 20 hours a day. I would get up, eat breakfast, go back to bed. Get up, eat dinner, go back to bed. I get up, watch TV, and have a bite to supper. By the time I got through eating, I was worn out again. And I said, this is no good. I did not have the energy to help the medicine fight the cancer. I had to have something different. I called Dr. Alvarez to see what he thought about me coming down, and my dearest son volunteered to come along to escort his mother. I am so glad that he did. I'm so thankful for him. But I cannot say enough good about the things that I have seen, the patients that I have talked to through the years, and the way that I am treated like a human being, not a specimen. I don't know what more I can tell you about it, except if you ever get a chance, this is a place to come and see. I feel that if I had not had my start here, that I would not have lived the years that I did. I think I would have been one of those casualties back in the 80s. If you ever get a chance, at least come down and check him out. I'm sure that you will feel a lot better. And whatever you do, always have faith that you will see another day. And that's the main thing. Don't give up. Don't let cancer win. You're going to beat it. And I'm going to beat it this time.